Welcome to Celtics Pregame Live. I'm your host, Justin Lowe. Right next to me, I got my guy, Rob, and we're bringing you coverage of tonight's game between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not really so much a big game, but it is at the same time. Celtics just trying to stay in the play-in tournament at this point. There's no way they can really fall out, but it is all about positioning at this point. The Celtics have some players out, some key players out. We'll touch base on that. We'll take questions from you guys later on in the live stream as we take you right up until the tip. Rob, these two teams have met before, but before we get into their previous matchups, the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers are two of the ones struggling, two teams that are fairly struggling. Celtics have lost 7 of their last 10 games. They are 3-7 in the last 10 games. They're on a 3-game losing streak. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have lost 11 straight, and they are 16 and 20, or they have lost 16 of their last 20 games.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have been pretty bad over the past 10 games of basketball. Celtics obviously 3-10 in the last, 3-7 in the last 10. So, both teams have been struggling. I would say the Boston Celtics should have an easy win tonight, but, with their history in the past losing, against teams like the Thunders, who've been on, these types of losing streaks, the Celtics really got to go into Cleveland tonight and handle business.
They do, and ultimately I understand that they're injured, and I understand that the Celtics have lost their last 3 games, but at the same time, the Celtics need to have dignity here. They need to go out and fight. They cannot end this season with no fight, no effort at all. So I'm expecting tonight, I'm expecting a win. I know I said that in the last 2 Miami games, Rob, but I'm expecting a big win tonight, and I'm expecting – we'll get into it later in the keys of the game. I'm expecting a lot of scoring from guys like Pritchard, Nesmith, Carson Edwards, who might get some time, as well as Ojale. Jason Tatum is going to have to be that guy as well, who he's been in a slump.
Yeah, I mean, big time slump. And it's not necessarily just, offenses. We're going to get into this, as, we talk more about it in the pregame show. But Jason Tatum has really showed a lack of effort on the defensive side of the ball. So, it's going to take a group effort, especially with those key guys out in the lineup tonight. 4 out of the 5 usual starters aren't playing. So, someone's got to step up tonight, and it's going to have to happen on both sides of the basketball.
Now, as we recap the season series between the Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers, both of them have split the season series one apiece. Boston Celtics blowing out the Cleveland Cavaliers in Boston 141-103. Then the Celtics, a couple of months later, head out to Cleveland. Cleveland beats Boston 117-110. Jaylen Brown was the one who stuck out in both of those games. 33 points in game 1, 28 points in game 2. Robert Williams, 13 points, 14 rebounds in game 2. 2 guys who have performed well against this team. You're not going to have them tonight. How big is that? How tough is that? Obviously, it's tough, but like I said, other guys are going to have to step up yet again tonight.
Yeah, not having those 2 guys in particular is huge. Those are 2 guys who go out there and make plays for you every single time down the floor. Whether it's getting a shot that's blocked or hitting a 3 or it's anything really. So without having Brown and Williams, the Celtics are really going to have someone step up. Now, who is that going to be? We'll talk about that later. But it's shown in the previous 2 games, Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams have found ways to make a difference out there. Robert Williams last time against the Cleveland Cavaliers scored 13 points, grabbed 14 rebounds. Jaylen Brown put up 28 and 33 in both matchups against the Cavs. So, they got to find a way for someone who's not the usual go-to guy to step up and get buckets.
And if you're thinking Kemba Walker, it is not Kemba Walker. He is ruled out tonight with a sore knee. It's more of a, rehabilitation. He's been sitting out second nights of back-to-backs. He scored 21 in game 1. Game 1, you didn't have Tatum nor Pritchard. And then game 2, you didn't have Kemba. You're not going to have Kemba Walker again. You're also not going to have Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, or Jaylen Brown tonight. Rob, I'm going to read this to you. Brace yourself. The hospital Celtics are back yet again, unfortunately, right before the playoffs. This lineup, These four players, four out of the five starters, have missed a combined 79. Yes, you heard that right. 79 games this season. A combined 79 games. Rob, that's
That's
insane.
unbelievable. I'm going to throw one back at you now. The Boston Celtics will have gone the entire NBA season without playing a single game with a clean injury report. Now think about that. A clean injury report. So that means this Celtics team has not gone a single possession of NBA basketball with a healthy team. Now, I'm not one to make excuses, obviously, but maybe there are some excuses to be made because that is incredible.
And guess what? The thing that really stinks about this is I know, usually a lot of people know me if they've been following me the past 5 years in my career, they know I'm a very upbeat, positive guy, and I don't make too many excuses. But the Boston Celtics are not going to be healthy for the playoffs either. They're not going to be healthy for the remainder of the 4 games of the rest of the season. They're not going to be healthy for the play-in tournament, and they're sure as hell not going to be healthy for the first or second round if they make it into it. So that's just very, very frustrating. It's very sad because the Boston Celtics have only played, I think, 8 games with that starting five with Kemba, Smart, Williams, Brown, and Tatum. The Celtics are 6-1 or 7-1. I saw with that group as a starting lineup, and to not see that going into the playoffs, Jaylen Brown missing the rest of the season, and I know it's like, oh well, it's only 3 games. Well, if he's going to miss the rest of the season, he's not going to play in the play-in tournament. Robert Williams, I've heard rumors about him potentially getting shut down for the season. And then, obviously, Kemba Walker with that knee, I mean, it's still clearly, he says he feels 100%. He says he still plays, but clearly the training staff is seeing something that we don't. And maybe that Kemba Walker isn't, and it's precautionary. And it stinks that Kemba Walker has to sit in a game like tonight because he's been playing so extremely well. The Kemba Walker we expected him to play like, and he's playing like that the past week. And with the other guys like Smart and Rob Williams and Jaylen Brown out, Kemba Walker could be that start tonight.
Yeah, I mean, not having Kemba Walker is going to be a big loss for the Boston Celtics. A bigger loss that some people might think, especially with the way Kemba Walker has been playing over the past 5 games. Kemba Walker now, 3 of the last 4 games he's played in, he's scored 30-plus points. So, Kemba Walker has really taken that, with Jaylen Brown out, has taken that role as, that he's one of our go-to scorers at this point, and not having Kemba it's just another way to say, someone's got to step up and make up for the lack of scoring. Now, Justin, with the 4 starters who are out tonight, the Boston Celtics are missing a combined 79 points per game of scoring.
Oh boy. And look at, if you're watching this and you're a big Celtics fan and you know a lot of basketball, you're looking at this lineup right now on your screen that's ruled out for tonight. And the Boston Celtics are missing something that they've struggled with all season. And if you don't know what that is, it's defense. Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown. 3 of your better defenders on the whole roster. Out of the whole 17-man slate, these 3 are your main steadies on defense. The Boston Celtics have given up 122 points a game on the last 9 games, I believe it was. You're missing a lot of defense here. It's going to be tough. Colin Sexton, Kevin Love, 2 guys who have been great for this Cavaliers team, who have shown they can get hot at any moment. Colin Sexton, I think, has been averaging like 25 from his last 3 games. I know the Cavaliers are 0-3, but so aren't the Celtics. You know what I mean? In Kemba Walker, 27 games missed this season. Marcus Smart, 22 games missed this season. Robert Williams, 18 games missed this season. And Jaylen Brown finally with 12 games missed this season. I don't know what to say at this point, Rob.
I mean, injuries have killed us all season long, and it really is shown now as we're 35-34, sitting at the 7th seed, where no one thought we would be sitting at this point of the season, especially with this crazy play-in game. Our playoff spot is not guaranteed at this point, and it's really in question. But, with these four guys out, it's really important that these guys like Grant Williams, Semi Ojeleye, Peyton Pritchard, Aaron Nesmith, Langford, Tristan Thompson, they got to realize that their spot on this team is not, given to them anymore at this point. Everyone is where the way the Boston Celtics have performed all season long, everyone's on the chopping block right now. So the Boston Celtics and these guys who are going to be playing minutes tonight, they have to find a way to make a difference, or else if they continue to play this lackluster, poor effort brand style of basketball, they're going to find themselves traded this offseason. So, really guys, like roster spots 7 through 13 who are going to play tonight a lot more than they usually do, they're at this point of the season, they're trying to prove to the organization that they're worth keeping.
And that's funny you say that, because that brings us to our next segment, which is the keys to the game. Starting off with, just like you said, unlikely sources, guys 7 through 10 on the roster who are fighting for a roster spot. My big key to tonight's game is get an unlikely source going. Carson Edwards has shown he's been explosive against the Cavaliers. Grant Williams has had himself a good couple good games against the Cavaliers. I'm looking at Pritchard. I'm looking at Ojeleye. And I'm also looking at my boy Aaron Nesmith to have a big game tonight in order for the Celtics to win.
Couldn't agree more with the Aaron Nesmith, the call out right now. If I were to have a key of the game, I have two keys to the game, for tonight's matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of them is get Aaron Nesmith open looks. If you watch the Miami Heat in the last two games, they got Duncan Robinson open. He moves a lot off ball. They set him off ball screens. They got their best shooter on the court open looks. Aaron Nesmith over the past 30 days has proven to be not just the best shooter on the Boston Celtics, but one of the best shooters in the NBA. He's shooting 53%, which leads the NBA in three-point percentage with at least 30 attempts taken from beyond the arc. So Aaron Nesmith has proven that he can shoot at a very high level. So if the Boston Celtics want to find themselves in this game, Aaron Nesmith is the key to the puzzle. And along with that, I got another one for you, Justin. A certain man named Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum over the past couple games has been playing very relaxed. He's gotten too comfortable in his superstar title. He has to come out here against the Cleveland Cavaliers and attack the rim. Go hard and put your head. Scalabrine says it. I can't tell you how many times Brian Scalabrine has said it this season. Attack the rim. The Celtics are playing their best brand of basketball when Jason Tatum is looking to drive and collapse the defense. When the ball moves and when players drive, the Celtics are at their best.
I also couldn't agree with you more. We saw Jason Tatum, right, the last, I'd say, year and a half, struggle to get to the free throw line. This past maybe 2 months, I would say, Jason Tatum has done a tremendous job putting his head down, attacking the basket, and getting to the foul line and hitting his free throws. That is exactly what obviously all the Celtics need to attack the rim. But Jason Tatum is at his best, and the Celtics are at their best when they attack the rim. And I also want to just mention this. Attacking the rim does not necessarily mean, Rob, you have to shoot it from 5 feet in. The Celtics have been particularly good with the old driving kick method, right? And it's been in their system for years. You used to see the driving kick method a lot with guys like Al Horford, and he'd kick it out to an Isaiah Thomas or Evan Turner to Avery Bradley in the corner. The Celtics create space. I think having Evan Fournier on that floor spaces it all out. We've heard Brian Scalabrine stress it out, space out the floor and get to the basket. So to have guys like Fournier who can roll out to that corner, when Tatum drives, puts his head down, he's either one, going up with it, getting fouled, or two, getting a good, drawing a defender in and getting a good look out at a mid-range or corner three, which is a very high percentage shot.
100%. And not only just that, but don't drive for no reason. Drive for a
No.
purpose. Make sure the ball gets swung twice, 2 or 3 times before you attack the rim. Because I saw a couple times in that Heat series where Smart or Tatum, they would drive, but they'd drive into 3 defenders, and that essentially plays right into what the defense wants them to do. So it's really important the Boston Celtics have a very good offensive game plan coming into this game. And along with that, if you are watching the stream right now, I do want you guys to drop some questions in the chat. I see a couple of them right now, but hopefully we can get some conversation going, because Justin and I are really, really looking to see what you guys are thinking about this game. I want to see some score predictions. I want to see some, keys, what your guys' keys to the game are. Let's start seeing them, because Justin, I think this is a great time to, talk about score, about predictions. What do you have? Who's going to win tonight?
I said this, in the last pregame show, and I said it in the podcast episode we shot on Sunday, released Monday. I expected the Boston Celtics to know their situation and where they were on Sunday and Tuesday. They didn't. Tonight, go out there and play with effort. You didn't play with effort in the second half against Miami in Game 2. And in Game 1, you didn't show up until halftime. Tonight, I'm expecting, here's one of my keys to the game that we did not write down. We didn't script this. This is raw. This is whatever. Get out of tonight healthy, but at the same time, go out there and lay your body on the line. I know it's against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a lottery team, and they've already been eliminated from the playoffs, but go out there, put your body on the line, show some effort, especially those guys who are fighting for a potential roster spot in the offseason, like a Grant Williams, like a Shemi Ojeleye, like a Luke Cornett or an Aaron Nesmith. Put your body on the line and come out healthy. I would be extremely, extremely grateful if the Boston Celtics came out and they just came out for a full 48-minute ball game. I assume with Marcus Smart as well as Jaylen Brown being out, that'll open up a lot of the 2/3 guard position, and that'll produce Aaron Nesmith a lot of minutes tonight. So I'm looking for that.
Justin, do you think that Kemba should be playing back-to-back games when it's in a must-win game?
I feel like all games have been must-wins. So I understand your question. I understand the Celtics wanting to take it easy on Kemba Walker. And at this moment, you just want to see more Kemba Walker, because he's just been playing out of his mind. Unbelievable cardiac Kemba, Yukon Husky Day Kemba. But at the same time, I do. And I'm expecting, because that New York game could be big. It could if the Celtics win out and the Knicks lose out, the Celtics could be in the playoffs. So we're not totally, this isn't totally out of question here. The Knicks game is a tiebreaker game. I'm expecting Kemba Walker to play Sunday afternoon against the New York Knicks. That is the second game of a back-to-back. Saturday against Minnesota. I think Kemba should play, even if it's a minute restriction, Rob. Kemba just gets out there, gets loose, and because don't forget, in the playoffs, and even in the play-in tournament, these games aren't that far away from each other. There's usually only a gap in between, like a day gap in between, and then they're back to playing. So I think Kemba, to get those fresh legs going, I thought he should have played tonight. I am expecting him to play on the second night of a back-to-back against the New York Knicks, because that could potentially be a huge game depending on how these next two games go.
Yeah, and if we had a healthy roster, otherwise we have Brown, we had Williams, Smart playing, I'd say let Kemba get some rest. Obviously, maybe if our record, if we have clinched a playoff spot, I'd say let these guys get some rest. But with the circumstances and what we are playing for, no Brown, no Williams, no Smart to go along with no Kemba, definitely hurts not to have Kemba Walker playing tonight. And we got another one right here. This game is basically just a game to get our bearings before the play-in. It has no meaning in the standings. I can see where you Celtics fans are coming from by saying this, but you got to remember, there is always a chance in the NBA. Something can always, happen that turns out to be something crazy. Now, Justin said it just a minute ago. The New York Knicks, if they lose out, and he's giving me a look like he's got something to say, but if the New York Knicks lose out and the Celtics win out, we're in the playoffs. What's up, Justin?
Can I do something
Yeah,
really
go
quick?
for it.
Where is it? Uh-oh, where is it?
He's grabbing a jersey.
Aaron Nesmith will make his first career start tonight, Rob. Aaron Nesmith, my guy, Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt. Again, second straight game going over the Jason Tatum jersey. Aaron Nesmith will get his first career start tonight. How does this go for him? How does this go for Aaron Nesmith, his first career start? Again, in the keys to the game, get an unlikely source going. Aaron Nesmith might not be such an unlikely source tonight.
Aaron Nesmith, I said it, you said it. The way he's been playing recently, he just looks so comfortable out there. He looks like the NBA, and he's a rookie, and this rookie class has been brought with a really tough NBA season. They had no summer league. They really didn't have a true, real training camp. They didn't have preseason basketball. Yeah. So, Aaron Nesmith, it's understandable for this guy to take some time to get his feet wet in the NBA. But the way he's been playing recently has been fantastic. Aaron Nesmith is a consistent. His shot looks more fluid. I mean, everything. His mechanics. He's not biting on those pump fakes the vets are throwing at him. He's looking more and more NBA ready. So right now, and we said it in the post game show. Last night, I said it in the breaking news report I came out with when Jaylen Brown was ruled out. It's Aaron Nesmith's time to shine. This man is given a beautiful opportunity to go out there and show us what he's got. That show us that he is truly the best shooter in the draft, which I really think he is.
Tremont Waters was also just announced starting. I don't
over
know
Pritchard.
Over Pritchard. But again, I think that keeping Pritchard on the bench is Brad's leveling it out where you still need bench production, and I think Pritchard will give that to you. Evan Fournier is active, so I assume he'll start along with, I assume it's going to be Waters, Nesmith, Tatum, Fournier, and Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
Expect Luke Cornett to get some time tonight. Expect Taco Fall to get some time tonight, even in a even if it is a close game. Expect, I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Stevens threw in maybe a Jabari Parker. Keep your eyes on a Jabari Parker sighting tonight. He could go out there and
maybe
get some adrenaline
Romeo
pumping.
Langford coming out of the dead again. I mean, he was really he was really been showing a lot, over that win streak we had, and then he just all of a sudden went, MIA. So I want to see some Romeo Langford tonight. I want to see him getting some good minutes.
And that question we had before, where it was kind of like the seeding, this game doesn't really matter. I can understand where you're coming from, but for a lot of these players like Nesmith and Tremont Waters and Jabari Parker, Shemi Ojale, this game matters huge. And to us Celtics fans, it'd be great. It'd be a great sign of relief to see our bench play a full 48-minute effort basketball game and to come out with a win. So that'd be huge.
Yeah, we got to win these games. We got to go into the playing game with some momentum here. So I'd consider all these games from here on out, must wins. And the question I have on the screen that's popped up on the screen is talking about Jason Tatum and his effort in games. I could not agree more. I've been stressing this statement for over the past 2 weeks. He plays with absolutely zero heart. And I want to ask you something, Justin. Over the past, honestly, the history of the Boston Celtics, right? Every basketball season in history of the Celtics, what's one thing the star player on the team shares they all have in common?
They all have a sense of urgency now.
I'd say yes, and they all play with heart.
Yeah.
Every single one of them play with just the love and passion they play for. I mean, and it might sound corny, but it's the truth. They go out there and they play their asses off for 48 minutes of basketball. And you look at Jason Tatum and the way he's played this season, you got to question, can this guy be a true leader for the Celtics club moving forward? Mike Gorman called him out on it. I know that the night prior, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum responded with 38 and 35 apiece, but leading goes more than scoring 30 plus a
Yeah.
night, which we know these two can do. Jason Tatum, and this is a test for him. This really is a big test for him. This is an opportunity to go out there, dive on loose balls, play hard defense, get up in the other team's face, start talking some trash. Like, I know
mad dog defense, man.
Yeah, like really show us this side of Jason Tatum that we've never seen before. Block shots, grab rebounds, push the pace, get an and one and scream into the if you get a tech, you get a tech, but just show us you have that animal, that beast inside you that you can unlock and you can dominate. And he compares himself to his lifelong, icon and role model Kobe Bryant, right? Who the best thing about Kobe Bryant was how much passion he played. The Mamba mentality. It's true. He locked in, no friends on the court. He's going to play 90 feet of defense every possession. He's going to dive on every loose ball. It's how champions play, and it's how Jason Tatum needs to play.
And this is just going without saying. Jason Tatum has a tremendous amount of skill in this league. So if you're watching this and you're kind of thinking we're just trashing Jason Tatum or not, there's no denial that he can play like an all-star / even MVP caliber player. We 100%. Said this many times on the podcast. Jason Tatum is arguably, I think, the best Celtic on the team. You can argue Jaylen Brown, I guess.
He's the best. I can give it to him. He's the best.
Jason Tatum, I agree with you, Rob, and I also agree with one of our viewers, Brady, who sent in this great take. Jason Tatum needs to show effort, especially being that leader. There were plays on Tuesday, 2 nights ago, or last night, where he'd give up the ball. He'd either turn the ball over or completely miss the shot. And instead of getting back on defense, he'd throw his arms up in the air and, swipe at the ball as the runner goes by. And then he's caught lacking and he's falling behind. That's not the type of, I wonder if Brad Stevens, I wonder if Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown has ever said anything to Jason Tatum about that. But that's just not the type of effort. That's not going to win you basketball games, and that's not going to win you championships, right?
And you know what's strange is the bubble, this team, Tatum, Brown, they played with a tremendous amount of passion. They were, intensity. That's really what it is. It's intensity. If there's one word and look at Kevin Garnett for example, his intensity and how he played, the pounding of the chest, it might seem like it's all a cliche, but it's not. It brings a sense of pace to the basketball game that it can throw the other team off. It can motivate the bench guys when they're coming in. Yeah. Oh, Tatum's checking out. Look how Tatum's playing. Our leader, the all-star, the all-NBA caliber player, the MVP potentially, not like this season, but in the future, potential MVP.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like when you got that type of guy that's coming out there and absolutely just playing his heart out every night, it motivates guys. It does. Look at Jordan. If you watch the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan, his teammates were motivated. He pushed them, and Jason Tatum needs to work on that.
It used to be super cool would be every single game Kevin Garnett would go off by himself and start to just bang his head on the stanchion.
Yeah, before the start, he'd tie his shorts and then pound his chest.
He used to pound. Yeah, and even you see guys like Russell Westbrook who will run to the corner, pound his chest, and scream to the crowd. Jason Tatum, he needs to get some intensity in there. The Celtics need to play with some intensity tonight. And if they're not going to come out and play a full 48-minute basketball, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Boston Celtics play catch-up in this game tonight, it's going to make for a long, 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 long rest of the season. And I know there's only 2 games left. Trust me, those last 2 games are going to be so long. The Boston Celtics absolutely need a win here tonight, Rob. Closing thoughts. What are your predictions?
My predictions. Honestly, this game, I'm expecting to see the Boston Celtics come out and look to find a new source of offense. I'm looking to see Aaron Nesmith step up, Peyton Pritchard, and hopefully maybe since you see some Romeo Langford. I'm looking and expecting to see a Celtics dub finally. That's my thoughts. That's my predictions. And, before I send it back off to you to close off this show, I just want to say, if for some reason you're not following us on Twitter, you're not following us on Instagram, go do that. Celtics_weekly on Twitter and the Celtics Talk weekly on Instagram. We do have a very, very special announcement that is going to be dropping on the post-game show, post-game live. You trust me when I say this. You want to be there. Tell your friends because they're trust me. It's very exciting what we're announcing. Super cool, and he's pointing to the background. He's giving a little preview. So trust me when I say this. You're gonna want to be at the post game show today. It's gonna be super fun.
It's gonna be a late one. We're probably gonna be tired and have to splash a bunch of water in our face. So come on.
Yeah. So come grab a cup of coffee or whatever and stay up late and talk Celtics basketball with us. Take it away though, Justin.
So I'm just gonna say this, Rob, because for the people who don't listen to our podcast, for some reason, you probably should anyway. But if you don't, you know that you don't know. And if you do listen, you do know that throughout the podcast, I've been calling Rob a jinx. He's gone to games. There's some times where he calls something, he thinks he makes this prediction and it goes completely opposite. Since we've started this post game thing, we've only reported one win. And that was against the Orlando Magic.
Oh no.
I'm starting to think that this might be a Rob jinx. And I know it's like, well, you're the host. You're the host tonight. I think this is the first time I was the host, Rob.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time I'm the host.
Let's see.
So I'm saying, if we come out here and we win tonight, I think Rob is the biggest jinx ever. So for the people who don't listen to the podcast and only watch our YouTube, I have two platforms. Perfect. Apple, Spotify, and now YouTube, where Rob is a jinx. Not to call you out. Out. But we are moments away from the tip in Cleveland, Boston, looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. The Cleveland Cavaliers looking to snap their 11-game losing streak. It's a battle for the lottery tonight. The Boston Celtics tip off on NBC Sports Boston. I'm Justin. That's Rob. Please join us post-game live. And if you
special announcements post-game now.
Special announcement tonight.
Yes.
On the post-game show.
So go check it out, guys.